Brace yourself. You're about to enter the SKOLHole, where we talk anything and everything Minnesota Vikings. Don't forget to bring a change of clothes. It might get dirty. Here are your hosts, Draft Season's own, One Bar and Lust.
So we got a treat for everybody today. Not only do we have one of the best linebackers in this year's NFL draft, but just so happens to be right from the great state of Minnesota, we got Blake Cashman from the Gophers joining us today. Blake, welcome to the SKOLHole.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So before we get into any draft talk, let's not beat around the bush. Even though you had a little bit of an early exit in the game, was there anything better in your college career than bringing home the axe back to Minnesota against Wisconsin this past year?
Absolutely not. That was definitely the highlight of my time at Minnesota, and yes, it was unfortunate that I had to leave the game. It really hurt me, and it was very frustrating. But I was our team's biggest fan, biggest cheerleader during that game, and I just remember going to the locker room, really pissed off, throwing my pads down, and they wouldn't let me return to the field or anything like that. They didn't have any TVs down in the locker room area, so I had to stand at the end of the tunnel, and I could see about 3/4 of the scoreboard and about half the field, and I pulled up a chair and sat right there, and I was screaming and jumping up and down, all excited. And there was a couple times where people had that worked for the Wisconsin staff had to come quiet me down because they thought I was going to start a riot with their fans because I was so pumped up. But it was a great win, and definitely very happy that we could finally bring the axe back home.
Yeah, even though when you watch the highlights from that game, especially afterwards, even though you had an early exit and it wasn't the way you wanted it, we saw you on the field afterwards, and we saw you how excited you were. We saw how everybody was so excited. So it was fantastic, and you could just tell that's got to be one of your top highlights.
Absolutely.
So you got the great story. It's really inspiring. Everybody knows your story. You come from winning 9 million state championships with Eden Prairie. You go walk on at Minnesota. You start out, playing special teams and gradually make your way up to not only be a starter captain, but get that scholarship and really become one of the best linebackers in the country. What is it as far as, keeps you so hungry? Where's that drive come from?
It's a great question, and I simply would put it that, I always wanted to it was always a dream of mine to play professional football, and I've always been somebody that's wanted to work and become the best player on the field. And walking on at Minnesota as a walk-on, it's never going to work unless you have the confidence in yourself and believe in yourself. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to have a lot of self-doubt, and you'll be thinking and worrying too much. So you really got to stay focused on yourself and just, understanding and respecting the process of how you develop and progress as a person and a player. But just being a walk-on, you constantly have to outwork your teammates. Those guys are your friends, they're your brothers, your family, but you're out there expecting to work hard and earn a scholarship and, earn that opportunity in the field. So you just really carry yourself with a chip on your shoulder, and it's always motivating to continue to come into the building and try to be the best player on that roster.
Yeah, and you prove to be that. I mean, you're the full package at linebacker. I love watching tape on you. You do pretty much everything well. You're all over the field. You're in the backfield. You're sticking it to running backs, quarterbacks. But from your standpoint, what do you feel you need to improve on the most when your game when it comes to Sundays next year?
There's two things I think I need to work on, and it's something that, I think every linebacker has to get used to doing as you make that jump from college level to the professional level. And that's, one, being better in man coverage against more athletic tight ends. In the NFL, you see a lot of guys that not only are big, tall, and lengthy, but they're also very freakishly athletic, similar to like a receiver. So, a lot of times teams are looking for that tight end to have on their roster, so they can get mismatched on linebackers. And so just continuing to work on the man coverage skills with, more talented athletic tight ends. And then something that at the NFL level you got to do is, as a linebacker, is constantly get your hands on the lineman when you're throwing the gap or playing the run. So, that's just working on drills that work on strike and setting opponents that are a lot bigger and stronger than you are.
I got a front row seat since I'm from Minnesota. I got to see you play probably a lot more than some of the other people, but we're well aware of what you could bring to the table. But after the combine, you kind of blew up. I mean, you absolutely nailed pretty much everything you did, and all of a sudden everybody started jumping on the Blake Cashman train. How crazy is to go from, I wouldn't say unknown, but definitely a kind of a sleeper guy to all of a sudden you're all over NFL Network? I mean, how crazy of an experience was that?
It's a very cool experience, and it's great to see because anybody that's in my position with hopes to be playing in the NFL, you want teams looking at you, and you want to be getting positive buzz in the media, whether it be the news or on TV or on social media. So, that's great to see. You can't necessarily allow it to pump up your head too much because a lot of times, there's so many deals and things being done behind the scenes that most people aren't aware of on draft day or leading up to draft day. So you really just got to continue to stay focused on what you need to do to continue to prepare yourself for draft day and then ultimately rookie camp after the draft. But it's, it's really rewarding because someone like me who walked out in Minnesota, there's a lot of times where, you are frustrated because you feel like you should be getting an opportunity sooner than you did get it, or you feel like you should be playing more. But, it's good to see that your hard work and dedication has paid off and you were able to take advantage of such an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, you nailed it. It was fantastic to see. You deserve all the credit you get. It was fantastic. But when it comes to the combine, as far as, biggest moments in your life, where does that rank? I mean, that's got to be up there.
Yes, it's definitely up there, probably in top three, just in my life so far, just because it's as most people put it, it's the biggest interview of your life. You got the whole nation watching you. You got every representative of every NFL team has their eyes on you, and it's one big networking event. I mean, when you're there and you're not doing the testing and measurables that you're there to perform, you are constantly speaking with people, doing interviews, a lot of short interviews, almost like speed dating. But so you just got to continue to remember that to act professional and be yourself because you've already gotten yourself so far, and if you didn't, you got to remind yourself to continue to do that to get to your end goal, which is to be on an NFL roster. But the combine was an amazing experience and truly something I'll never ever forget.
Yeah, if it's speed dating, you definitely walked away with the full blown hottie out of that one. Well done, A+. So you went to Eden Prairie, you walked in at the Gophers. Deep down, there's got to be a part of you that would maybe like to get that Minnesota theme still going. We all know Vikings do have some need at linebacker. How would you feel about the chance of wearing that beautiful shade of purple come Sundays next year?
It'd be awesome. I mean, I would be very pumped up and excited. It was so special to stay in Minnesota and play for the Gophers, just to have so many friends and family close to home, be able to come to your games and support you, and then to, do that at the next level professionally. It'd be amazing. I mean, that's in my book, that's the perfect story. And I've actually had the pleasure to work with guys that, are currently playing with the Vikings and are from Minnesota. So, they've got to share their experience with me, and they told me it's, absolutely incredible and the best thing that's ever happened to them.
Yeah, and not to name drop or anything, but I'm pretty sure one of those guys was Adam Thielen. I could have sworn I saw something on that.
Yeah, he's one of the guys.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Sticking to the Vikings, have you had a chance to talk with Coach Zimmer or anyone from the Vikings throughout this whole process?
Yeah, I was actually just at their facility yesterday for a visit, and I came in, got the whole tour of the facilities, which is definitely state of the art, probably the best in the country, and it was amazing seeing all the things they have there to, help their players perform better and develop and just, have that complete NFL experience. But I also spent most of my time there knocking out interviews and meeting with a lot of the coaches that if I were lucky to be, or fortunate to be drafted by the Vikings or signed by them, these are the guys that I'd be working with. So to get to know them a little bit and speak with them was really cool. And I think, I walked away there really pleased and was taken away just because, the NFL is looked at as a business, but you can tell at, the Minnesota Vikings, they are a family. They care a lot about their players and they talk about how they got one of the best fan bases in the nation. So it was just really exciting to learn a lot from being at that facility and just being able to take it all in.
So come draft day, do you have a round in mind where if you're still on the board, you're going to start to grow a minor chip on your shoulder?
I do. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm somebody that, has said from day one, doesn't matter where I go, all you can ask for is the opportunity. And I think, I'm somebody that's been able to take advantage of opportunities when given. So I just want that phone call or that opportunity to be signed by a team to come into rookie camp and show them what I'm capable of doing. But, it's too many people get caught up in the draft process, and it's very exciting, and everyone wants to go sooner rather than later. But at the end of the day, it's just about the opportunity and getting your shot.
Yeah, and you might not say it, but if you're still on the board past round 2, I'm going to start to grow a little bit of chip on my shoulder because you're right up there with the best. I mean, we all know the Devin Whites, we know the Devin Bushes, Mac Wilsons and stuff, but you're right up there. Can't wait to see what happens. Like I said, hopefully you come with Minnesota. One of the big talkers is, your shoulders. You had some surgeries on them over the past year. Any concerns on that moving forward? Do the team show any concerns on that? Are you 100%?
Yeah, I checked out. I did a bunch of medical evals and met with every team doctor, and they did imaging on all over my body. They're yanking on all my joints and stuff, and no teams have expressed any concerns. I sure as heck don't have any concerns. My body feels great right now, and that's credit to the people I've been working with the last few months, my trainer, and then this doctor who specializes in like rehab and physical therapy. So they've done a great job with me and making sure I'm ready to go and I'm at my best come rookie camp.
So not only are you known for the stuff you do on the field, but when you look you up, you're known pretty widely for your volunteer work. How important is that to you, and do you see yourself bringing that to the lucky team that ends up drafting you come April?
I do plan on bringing it with me wherever I go. It's something that is very important in my life. It always has been. Ever since I was really young, my mom, who at one point was working for a nonprofit, always had my family, my siblings engaged with, volunteering and community service. So I think it's something that's really important in that, when you have free time, you should give back and help others. And that was one of the great things about when Coach Fleck came to Minnesota. He is a very big advocate for serving and giving back in the community. So just to have so many volunteering opportunities is great, because at the end of the day, I'm a very fortunate, blessed person. And, there are people out there that need help or are struggling. So to be able to spend your time to help them, put a smile on their face, make their days better, it's priceless. I mean, that's what I love most, is just seeing the reactions and the emotions come out of these people that, you're helping.
Good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome to read about. It's awesome to see. Final. What, there's only really 3 weeks or so leading up to the draft. What's these coming weeks kind of hold in store for you? Is it going to be laid back? Do you got quite a few visits, or what do you got going on?
Yeah, I've had a lot of follow-up interviews on the phone and in person. I've had some teams fly up here to do a short workout and go over some film study. The only visit I've had was with the Vikings, but as of this point, I got to knock some of those things and get those done. But it's just really focusing on continuing to train and work on your craft. So I'll be focusing a lot more on doing linebacker drills, positional work, just so I'm prepared to go into rookie camp. But this time it's all very fun. It's very exciting, and it's new. You're learning a lot by just speaking with teams, speaking with players that are currently in the NFL. But more than anything, you're just anxious because you want to know where you're going. You want to know where you're potentially living. And then, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm sure everyone feels the same way as I do. Is everyone's excited to put the helmet back on and start playing football again.
Yeah, if you got people flying up to see you, you're doing something right. We can't thank you enough for hopping in the SKOLHole today. It's been awesome watching you in maroon and gold. We look forward to watching you on Sundays next season, wherever it may be. And best of luck to you on draft weekend, and really, really pulling for you to be wearing that purple next year. So thanks again.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. Good luck.